Today, we're not just stepping into a celebrity's world, we're diving headfirst into the universe of a hip-hop legend, a man who turned street dreams into a multi-million-dollar empire, Curtis James Jackson III, better known to the world as 50 Cent. From the concrete jungles of Queens, New York, where survival was a daily grind, to a life dripping in luxury in 2025, 50 Cent's journey is a roller coaster of hustle, heart, and unrelenting ambition. So, grab your snacks, hit that like button, buckle up, and let's take an epic ride through how this rap icon lives today. Because trust me, it's a lifestyle that'll leave you speechless, inspired, and maybe a little jealous. The man behind the millions, from Queens to King. If you've been rocking with hip-hop since the early 2000s, or even if you've just caught the vibes from streaming playlists, you know 50 Cent burst onto the scene like a freight train with his 2003 debut album Get Rich or Die Trying. That wasn't just an album, it was a seismic event, shaking up the music world and selling over 12 million copies globally. Tracks like Into Club, 21 Questions, and Pimp weren't just hits, they were anthems, blaring from car stereos, club speakers, and every corner of the culture. But 50 Cent isn't just a rapper with a mic and a dream. He's a businessman with a razor-sharp mind, a producer with a golden touch, an actor who's graced the big screen, and a master at flipping opportunities into mountains of cash. By 2025, his net worth is clocking in at an estimated $45 to $50 million, according to the number crunchers at Finance Monthly. Let that sink in. This guy went from dodging bullets in South Jamaica, Queens, to stacking millions and living like a modern-day king. How'd he do it? Let's unpack the legend. Born Curtis James Jackson III on July 6, 1975, in Queens, 50 didn't exactly come into the world with a golden ticket. His early years were raw, real, and rough around the edges. His mom, Sabrina Jackson, was his rock, a single mother hustling to keep food on the table in a neighborhood where danger lurked around every corner. She worked hard, sometimes dipping into the street life herself to make ends meet, but tragedy struck early. When 50 was just 8 years old, Sabrina was killed in a mysterious fire at her apartment. Some say it was arson tied to her hustling, others call it a heartbreaking accident. Either way, it left young Curtis reeling, an orphan in a world that didn't pull punches. From there, he moved in with his grandparents in South Jamaica, a tight-knit but tough community where survival meant learning fast and fighting harder. By his teens, 50 was knee-deep in the streets. He wasn't just a bystander. He was a player selling drugs, running with crews, and navigating a life where every day could be your last. He boxed too, channeling that aggression into something structured, but the streets kept calling. Music was his escape hatch, a flicker of hope in a dark tunnel. He started rapping under the name 50 Cent, a nod to a Brooklyn stick-up kid he admired, a name that symbolized making something out of nothing. But the road to stardom? It wasn't paved with gold, it was lined with bullets. On May 24, 2000, everything changed. Outside his grandmother's house, a gunman rolled up and unloaded. 9 shots, point blank. Bullets tore through his legs, his hand, his face, shattering his jaw and leaving him clinging to life. Doctors didn't think he'd make it. His voice, they said it'd never be the same. But 50 Cent isn't built like the rest of us. He's got steel in his soul. He survived, rebuilt himself through grueling rehab, and turned that trauma into fuel. That near-death experience wasn't the end, it was the beginning. With a raspy, bullet-scarred voice that became his signature, he caught the attention of Eminem and Dr. Dre. They saw a diamond in the rough, a raw talent with a story that hit like a sledgehammer. In 2002, he signed with Shady Records and Aftermath, and by 2003, Get Rich or Die Trying dropped like a bomb on the industry. It wasn't just music, it was a movement. The album went platinum 9 times over, racking up sales and spinning off hits that defined a generation. Suddenly, 50 Cent wasn't just a rapper. He was a superstar, a name on everyone's lips, a force you couldn't ignore. But here's where the story gets wild. 50 didn't stop at music. He took that cash and turned it into an empire. Let's talk about the vitamin water deal, because it's the stuff of legend. Back in 2004, he linked up with Glasso, a company pushing flavored water called Formula 50, named after him, of course. He didn't just slap his name on it. He negotiated a $1 million advance and a 10% stake in the company. Smart, right? 3 years later, in 2007, Coca-Cola came knocking with a $4.1 billion buyout. When the dust settled, 50 walked away with an estimated $100 million. Some peg it closer to $60 million. But either way, it was a payday that changed the game. He laughed about it later, saying, "I took quarters from the streets and turned them into dollars with water." That's not just hustle, that's genius. Then there's the TV hustle, and oh boy, did he strike gold there. In 2014, Power premiered on Stars, a gritty drama about a drug dealer turned nightclub owner, with 50 as executive producer. It wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural juggernaut, spawning spin-offs like Power Book 2, Ghost, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and Power Book 4, Force. By 2025, he's got a whole cinematic universe, pulling in millions from production fees, streaming royalties, and syndication deals. He's not just behind the scenes, he's shaping the narrative, casting talent, and keeping viewers hooked. Annual income? Experts estimate he's raking in 10 to 20 million a year from music residuals, TV, and other ventures. Oh, and let's not forget Branson Cognac. Launched in 2016 with partners at Sire Spirits, this premium liquor brand's become a staple at high-end bars and clubs. It's smooth, it's bold, it's 50 cents in a bottle, and it's adding another revenue stream to his portfolio. But here's the kicker. Back in 2015, he shocked the world by filing for bankruptcy. Debts piled up, lawsuits, bad investments, that lavish lifestyle catching up. Assets frozen, headlines screaming he was broke. Was it the end? Nope, it was a reset. He restructured, paid off creditors, over $20 million bucks, and emerged stronger. By 2025, that 45 to 50 million dollar net worth is proof he's not just a survivor, he's a conqueror. From queens to king, 50 Cent's story is a masterclass in turning setbacks into comebacks. Mansions that scream success, a global real estate empire. When you've got millions in the bank and a mind for the long game, you don't just live anywhere, you live everywhere. 50 Cent's real estate portfolio isn't just a collection of houses. It's a global empire that screams success louder than a sold-out concert. Let's take a grand tour through the properties that define his luxurious life in 2025, because this man's got homes that'd make even the richest rappers jealous. First stop, Saddle River, New Jersey. This mansion's a masterpiece. 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a home theater that's straight out of a movie set, a sprawling pool surrounded by perfectly trimmed gardens, and a guest house for when his crew rolls deep. Picture plush seats in that theater, a massive screen blasting Power reruns, or the latest Marvel flick, surround sound making you feel every beat. The pool's a showstopper. Imagine 50 kicking back on a summer day, shades on, sipping something cold while the water glimmers in the sun. He snagged this spot in 2005 for around $6 million, and while some reports say he sold it off, others whisper he's still got a piece of it. It's got that perfect mix of modern swagger and old-school charm, quiet suburban vibes with a rap mogul twist. The guest house alone could be its own luxe retreat, space for friends, family, or maybe even a recording setup when inspiration strikes. Next up, we're heading south to Atlanta, Georgia, a city that's hip-hop royalty in its own right. This pad's a modern marvel, 5 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, because why settle for less? A sleek pool that's begging for a party, and an outdoor kitchen that's Grillmaster approved. The interior's all about clean lines and high-end vibes. Think marble countertops that gleam under recessed lighting, floor-to-ceiling windows letting in that golden Georgia sun, and open spaces that flow like a dream. Imagine 50 hosting a bash here, Drake in the corner, Cardi B by the pool, beats thumping through a state-of-the-art sound system, while the outdoor kitchen pumps out burgers and ribs. Atlanta's a creative hub, a place where music and culture collide, so it's no shock he's got roots here. This isn't just a house, it's a statement, a foothold in the South where he can vibe with the scene and keep his finger on the pulse. Now, let's switch gears to Houston, Texas, where 50's got a Mediterranean-style villa that's pure class. We're talking 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, arched doorways that feel like you're stepping into a European estate, tiled floors that echo with every step, and ceilings that stretch high enough to make you feel small. Marble accents run through it, countertops, bathroom vanities, maybe even a fireplace surround, adding that touch of royalty. This spot's less about flash and more about comfort. Imagine 50 unwinding here after a tour. Feet up, a glass of Branson cognac in hand, the Texas sun dipping below the horizon. The layout's versatile, quiet corners for solo nights, big rooms for gatherings with the squad. It's a sleeper hit in his collection, not as loud as LA, but every bit as luxurious. A place where he can recharge in style. West Coast, here we come. Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles. This 5-bedroom, 8-bathroom hideaway's got views that'll stop you in your tracks. Panoramic sights stretching from the buzzing lights of downtown LA to the endless blue of the Pacific Ocean. The gourmet kitchen's a chef's paradise. Stainless steel appliances, double ovens, a massive island where 50 could whip up a late-night snack or let a private chef take the reins. The living spaces spill out onto terraces. Think sleek furniture, a fire pit crackling, 50 kicking back with a cigar as the city sparkles below. This is his Hollywood flex, a base that ties into his TV empire. With Power and its spin-offs dominating screens, LA's where the action is. Meetings with execs, red carpet premieres, late-night studio sessions. It's modern, it's sleek, it's everything you'd expect from a mogul who's conquered both coasts. Going global, let's jet to Cancun, Mexico, a beachfront retreat that's all about escape. White sand stretches out front, turquoise waves crash gently, and the villa's a seamless blend of indoor and outdoor living. Picture open-air lounges with breezy curtains, an infinity pool that seems to melt into the ocean, 50 sipping tequila or Branson cognac on a shaded patio while the sun paints the sky orange. Details are hush-hush. 50 keeps this one low-key, but you can imagine a sprawling layout with private beach access, maybe a rooftop deck for stargazing, a vibe that's pure paradise. It's his getaway, a spot to ditch the chaos of the world and soak in the good life. Whether he's there solo or with a tight crew, it's a slice of heaven that screams luxury. Then there's South Africa. Yeah, you heard that right. Rumors swirl about a luxe resort he's got tucked away there. And while the details are scarce, the speculation's wild. Maybe it's a safari-style lodge. Think wooden beams, massive windows overlooking the savannah, 50 sipping something strong while lions roar in the distance. Or maybe it's a modern oasis carved into the wilderness. Clean lines, a pool that reflects the African sky, a retreat that's equal parts adventure and opulence. Whatever it is, it's a bold move, a pin on his global map that shows he's not just playing in the States, he's staking claims worldwide. It's mysterious, it's extravagant, it's 50 Cent through and through. Let's rewind to the Farmington, Connecticut mansion, because we can't skip this legend. This wasn't just a house, it was a palace. 50,000 square feet of pure excess. 19 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms, an indoor pool with crystal clear water, a nightclub with a dance floor and bar, a basketball court where he could have balled with the best, even a recording studio tucked away for late-night sessions. He bought it from Mike Tyson in 2003 for $4.1 million, pumped millions more into upgrades. Think custom lighting, security systems, a gym that'd rival any pro facility. He lived there like a king in his prime. Parties that lasted till dawn, G-Unit crew filling the halls, a lifestyle that matched his larger-than-life persona. But when bankruptcy hit in 2015, it became a weight. He sold it in 2019 for $2.9 million, taking a loss. Still, it's a chapter etched in his real estate legacy, a symbol of his peak baller days. So, where does that leave us in 2025? His portfolio's a living thing. Some properties sold, new ones snatched up, but the vibe's consistent. Saddle River's suburban swank, Atlanta's modern edge, Houston's classic charm, LA's Hollywood glow, Cancun's beachside bliss, South Africa's wildcard mystery, all screaming success. He's got homes in New Jersey, Georgia, Texas, California, Mexico, maybe South Africa, plus whispers of spots in New York tied to his roots. Each one's a masterpiece, a reflection of his journey from Queens to the top. Whether he's chilling by the pool in Atlanta, vibing with the ocean in Cancun, or plotting his next move in LA, 50 Cent's real estate game is a global flex that keeps on giving. The car collection, speed meets style. Alright, let's shift gears, literally, because what's a luxurious life without some serious horsepower? 50 Cent's car collection isn't just a garage, it's a showroom of dreams, a lineup that'd make any gearhead lose their mind. This man loves his rides, and he's not afraid to splurge on the best, each one a rolling testament to his speed, style, and success. Let's peel out and explore the toys that define his 2025 lifestyle. First up, the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, a beast that roars with swagger. This sleek Italian machine's packing a V10 engine, 520 horsepower, and a top speed that'll push past 200 miles an hour if you dare. The convertible tops the kicker. Imagine 50, cruising down Sunset Boulevard or Miami's Ocean Drive, roof down, wind whipping past, and a club blasting through a custom sound system that hits harder than a live show. The design's aggressive, sharp angles, low stance, a bright yellow or matte black finish that screams "look at me." It's not just a car, it's a vibe, fast, loud, unapologetic, everything 50 Cent embodies. He's been spotted in Lumbos before, and you can bet this one's a crown jewel in his collection. Next, the Bentley Continental GT, a different flavor of luxury. This isn't about raw speed, it's about smooth, effortless class. Picture buttery leather seats that hug you like a throne, a twin-turbo W12 engine purring under the hood, a design that's all curves and elegance. It's the kind of ride 50 might roll up in for a high-stakes meeting with TV execs or a late-night dinner at a five-star spot. The interior's a masterpiece, with trim, digital dash, a quiet cabin that shuts out the world. Maybe it's a deep blue or a pristine white. Either way, it's a subtle flex, letting everyone know he's got taste to match his bank account. It's less about turning heads and more about owning the road, a perfect balance for a man who's mastered both hustle and refinement. Then there's the Rolls-Royce Phantom, the king of the collection, no question. This isn't just a car, it's a statement, a rolling palace that says, "I've made it." That iconic Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament gleams up front, the massive grille demands respect, and the interior? Hand-stitched leather, starlight headliner that twinkles like the night sky, a ride so smooth and silent you'd think you're floating. Picture 50 in the back, because you know he's got a driver for this one, sipping champagne from the built-in cooler, plotting his next empire move. It's a V12 beast, 563 horsepower, but it's not about speed, it's about presence. Maybe it's blacked out, maybe it's a two-tone custom job. Either way, it's his throne on wheels, a symbol of how far he's climbed from the streets of Queens. For the adrenaline junkies, the Ferrari 458 Italia's where the action's at. This Italian stallion's a predator, bright red paint that pops like a warning, aerodynamic lines that slice through the air, 562 horsepower ready to unleash at the tap of a pedal. It's loud, it's fast, it's ferocious, top speed north of 200 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. 50's been spotted tearing up the streets in Ferraris before, and this one's a perfect match for his aggressive energy. Imagine him behind the wheel, sunglasses on, engine roaring, weaving through traffic like he owns the city. The interior's race-ready, carbon fiber, bucket seats, a steering wheel loaded with controls. It's not just a car, it's an experience, a rush that ties back to his fearless spirit. Rounding out the lineup, the Maybach 57, a sedan that's all about supreme comfort. This isn't about speed, though it's got a V12 with 543 horsepower. It's about luxury on another level. Reclining seats that massage your back, a champagne fridge tucked in the console, legroom that feels like a private jet. 50's not driving this one. He's being driven, kicking back while his chauffeur handles the road. The exterior's understated, maybe a glossy black or a silver that catches the light just right. But inside, it's a cocoon of opulence. Think wood paneling, ambient lighting, a sound system that could rival a studio. It's for the days when he wants to roll in peace, maybe heading to a premiere or a charity gala, letting the world see him arrive in style. These aren't off-the-lot rides, 50 customizes. Picture the Lumbo with a matte finish and neon accents, the Ferrari with rims that spin like his old G-Unit chains, the Maybach with a sound system that bumps harder than a club's VIP booth. He's talked about his love for cars, the engineering, the design, the raw power you feel when you grip the wheel. It's a passion that goes back to his Queens days, dreaming of the day he'd trade a beat-up ride for something that roared. In 2025, his garage, Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, Bentley Continental GT, Rolls-Royce Phantom, Ferrari 458 Italia, Maybach 57 is a testament to that dream. It's growing too. Maybe a Bugatti's next, or a Tesla Cybertruck for that futuristic edge. Each car's a piece of his story, a flex of his wealth, speed, and style. Hobbies that define the man, more than meets the eye. So, what does a guy like 50 Cent do when he's not stacking cash, chilling in mansions, or cruising in his supercars? Let's peel back the curtain on his hobbies, because even a mogul needs ways to unwind, recharge, and keep that fire burning. These aren't just pastimes. They're windows into who he is, what drives him, and how he lives in 2025. Fitness is massive for 50. Always has been, always will be. Go back to 2000. 9 bullets tore through him, left him broken, bleeding, barely alive. Doctors said he'd never walk right again, never talk the same, let alone rap. But 50? He's a warrior. He clawed his way back through months of physical therapy, leg presses to rebuild his shattered limbs, speech exercises to reshape that bullet-scarred voice into something iconic. By the time Get Rich or Die Trying dropped, he was shredded, six-pack abs, biceps that popped, a physique that matched his larger-than-life persona. In 2025, he's still at it, posting gym pics on social media, flexing in tank tops, showing off deadlifts, pull-ups, bench presses. He's got a home gym in every mansion, treadmills, free weights, maybe a boxing ring to keep that fighter's edge. He said it's not just about looks, it's about discipline, about proving to himself he's still got that grit. Picture him in Houston, sweat dripping, music blasting, pushing through a late-night workout while the world sleeps. It's his sanctuary, his way of staying unstoppable. Then there's art, a passion that might surprise you. 50 Cent's not just about bling and beats. He's got a refined side, an eye for beauty that goes beyond the streets. He's been spotted at galleries in New York, LA, even Miami. Think Art Basel events, sipping wine, chatting with curators. He's bid on pieces from heavy hitters, maybe a Jean-Michel Basquiat with its chaotic energy that mirrors his own life, or a sleek Jeff Koons sculpture that fits his modern taste. His collection's a mystery. He doesn't flaunt it like his cars, but you can imagine it gracing his homes. Picture a vibrant painting in the Atlanta pad, a minimalist piece in LA, a bold statement in Houston. It's not just investment, though he's smart enough to know art appreciates. It's appreciation, a love for creativity that ties into his own artistic roots. He said in interviews that art speaks to him, that it's a way to see the world differently. And in 2025, it's a quiet flex that shows his depth. Music's still a cornerstone. How could it not be? In 2025, he might not be dropping albums every year like the old days. The Massacre in 2005, Curtis in 2007, but he's far from retired. He's in the studio, mentoring new talent, maybe reviving G-Unit with fresh faces, passing the torch to kids who remind him of his younger self. Picture him producing beats, tweaking lyrics, guiding an up-and-coming rapper through their first track. He said music saved him. It was his ticket out of Queens, his voice when the streets tried to silence him. Even if he's not headlining tours, he's got unreleased tracks stashed away. Imagine him vibing to them in the Rolls-Royce, windows down, bass thumping, keeping his ear to the streets. He might pop up on a collab with Drake or Kendrick, or drop a surprise single just to remind us he's still got it. Music's not just a hobby. It's his blood, his legacy, his heartbeat. Tech's another layer, because 50's always been ahead of the curve. In 2025, he's into gadgets and innovation. Smart homes where lights dim with a voice command, security systems with cameras that'd make the CIA jealous, maybe a VR setup for gaming or creative brainstorming. His LA pad's probably decked out. Think Alexa on steroids, controlling everything from the AC to the pool temp. He's talked about loving the future, investing in startups, keeping up with trends like crypto or AI. Maybe he's got a Tesla in the garage, or a drone buzzing around his Cancun retreat for aerial shots. It's a hobby that keeps him sharp, blending luxury with the cutting edge. These hobbies, fitness, art, music, tech, paint a full picture. He's disciplined in the gym, cultured in the galleries, rooted in the studio, forward-thinking with his gadgets. In 2025, they keep him balanced, grounded in his past, thriving in his present, eyeing his future. Whether he's lifting weights in Houston, bidding on art in New York, producing beats in Atlanta, or playing with tech in LA. 50 Cent's living a life that's as dynamic as his career. The personal side, family, freedom, and focus. Let's get real. Behind the bling, the beats, the billions, well, millions, there's a man with a personal story that's as compelling as his public one. 50 Cent's life in 2025 isn't just about wealth. It's about who he is when the cameras stop rolling, the choices he's made, and the freedom he's fought for. Let's dive into the personal side of this hip-hop titan. Love life. In 2025, 50's flying solo, and he's loving every second of it. He's never walked down the aisle, never said, "I do," and he's not sweating it. In a 2024 sit-down with Stephen Colbert, he laid it out plain. When you're calm, you can focus. I've been good to myself. That's not a diss on relationships. It's a man who's seen the chaos of life and chosen clarity. After everything, growing up without parents, surviving the streets, dodging bullets, he's earned the right to put himself first. He's dated over the years. Names like Vivica A. Fox, Sierra, Daphne Joy popping up in the tabloids, but he's never settled. Maybe it's the hustle that keeps him moving. Maybe it's a heart that's learned to guard itself. Either way, he's not anti-love. He's pro. 50, and in 2025, that means living single, free, and focused. But family, that's where it gets deep. He's got two sons, Marquise Jackson, born October 13th, 1997, with Shaniqua Tompkins, and Sire Jackson, born September 1st, 2012, with Daphne Joy. Marquise's story's a roller coaster. 50 was there for his early years, but things soured with Shaniqua. By the 2010s, it was a public mess, lawsuits, child support battles, Instagram shade that cut deep. Marquise once posted he'd take 6'9" over his dad. 50 clapped back, saying he wouldn't mind if Marquise got hit by a bus. Harsh. Yeah, but raw. They've got wounds that haven't healed. Still, 50 said he loves his son, even if they're estranged in 2025. It's complicated, it's real, it's a side of fame that's not all glitz. Then there's Sire, his little prince. Born to model Daphne Joy, Sire's the apple of 50's eye. He's posted pics over the years, Sire in tiny suits, rocking shades, a mini-me with $1 million smile. At 13 in 2025, Sire's still young, and 50's protective, keeping him out of the spotlight, giving him a shot at normalcy. He's called Sire his legacy, a reason to keep building. Being a dad's a balancing act. Marquise's distance stings, Sire's closeness heals, and 50 navigates it with the same intensity he brings to everything else. Freedom's the heartbeat of his 2025 life. No wife, no 9 to 5, a bank account that's stacked to the ceiling. 50's living on his terms, his schedule, his rules. Picture him hopping on a private jet, maybe a Gulfstream G650, sleek and loaded, headed to Cancun for a quick ocean dip, waves crashing as he sips something strong. Or he's courtside at a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, chopping it up with Jay-Z, Diddy, LeBron, laughing, reminiscing, owning the moment. He's got the keys to the world, freedom to jet set, to chase new ventures, to kick back when he damn well pleases. Single life isn't lonely for 50. It's liberating, a canvas he paints with bold strokes. From Queens to this, it's a freedom he's earned, blood, sweat, and bullets paving the way. The legend lives on. So here we are, Celeb Insider fam, the luxurious, larger-than-life world of 50 Cent in 2025. A net worth pushing $50 million, built from street quarters to vitamin water jackpots, power empires, and Branson cognac bottles. Homes that span the map, Saddle River's suburban swank, Atlanta's modern pulse, Houston's classic charm, LA's Hollywood shine, Cancun's beachside bliss, South Africa's wild mystery, echoes of Farmington's past glory. Cars that roar and roll, Lamborghini's speed, Bentley's class, Rolls-Royce's reign, Ferrari's fire, Maybach's calm. Hobbies that keep him sharp, fitness forging his body, art feeding his soul, music pumping his veins, tech lighting his future. A personal life of freedom, solo by choice, a dad with pride, a man unchained. Fashion that slays, travel that soars, a heart that gives back. From 9 bullets in Queens to 9 figures in the bank, 50 Cent's rewritten the rules of the game. He's a survivor who turned scars into stars, a hustler who built an empire, a king who rules his world. Every mansion's a milestone, every car's a trophy, every hobby's a thread in his tapestry. He's living proof that dreams don't just come true. They get conquered, stacked, and multiplied. What's your favorite slice of 50s life? The Houston villa with its marble vibes? The Ferrari tearing up the streets? The G-Unity mission lifting kids up? Drop it in the comments. Let's chop it up. If this deep dive into 50 Cent's 2025 luxury got your blood pumping, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell so you never miss a drop. We've got more celeb stories lined up, so stick with the Celeb Insider for the next big reveal. Peace out, fam. Keep hustling, keep dreaming, and we'll catch you real soon.